there, I'm Big Elias, and yes, yeah, that's right, I'm still making videos. You can't stop me. You can't. And I will explain at the end of this video, because I don't want to waste too much time, why I've been gone. It's not a bad thing, it's not a bad thing at all. It's actually a pretty good thing. But right now, I want to talk about Black Ops Cold War, because every year I talk about these games. I know I'm a bit late to it this year, but for, the reasons that I'll give at the end of the video, and plus I wanted to spend some more time with it, this is actually coming out a bit later than my Call of Duty reviews come out. But I wanted to do one, because I do want to talk about this game. And what do I think? I don't know, man. In the 4 years running that I've been doing these reviews, I usually have a solid opinion as to whether this is a product that you should be buying. And even, back in the day with the Modern Warfare 3, and I think I even did a Black Ops 1 review, although I think it was more of a retrospective. I still, formed this conclusion at the end, and with this one, we'll see. Well, I played the beta back in the day, back in the day of a month ago, and I actually made a video then talking about how much I hated it, and thankfully I didn't post it, but I really didn't like the beta. I didn't think it was fun. I didn't think the gunplay was good. I thought the animations were terrible. It is a clear downgrade from Modern Warfare. I mean, that's very obvious. I didn't like I didn't like anything about it. And I played it for about an hour and I put it down. I had no interest in playing any more of it. And why I bought it afterwards is beyond me. And why I bought the cross-gen bundle, because I haven't got a Series X, is beyond me too. But hey, what are you going to do about it? But I have played it, the full game, and I you know what? I've really done a U-turn, and I guess I'm going to delve into that. And it's not for the content, because the content is just completely paper thin. There's, I think, 8 6v6 maps, which is what I play. There's 3 or 4 big giant ground war maps, which admittedly are great maps, but some of the 6v6 maps are just chopped up bits from the ground war maps, or dirty bomb, or whatever it's called. So that's a bit of a cop out. And then you get one zombies map, and for all intents and purposes, a short campaign. I haven't finished it yet, but I do want to talk about that actually. You really don't get much bang for your buck with this game. More so than, Black Ops 4. At least you got a goddamn campaign. And it does feel deeper and more extensive than Black Ops 4. And I know, look, it's COVID. I know. People have had to work from home. They haven't been able to do what they can usually do. However, I know why they release every year, but goddamn it, just give capitalism, give the stock market just a little break. Just give it 5 goddamn minutes away. Take a year off, release the game next year, and then have a fully fleshed out campaign. Lots of maps, lots of content to give to people. You've got the money, you've got billions in the bank. Just do it, just invest the time and the money. But no, they had to fart this one out. The animations are nowhere near as good as Modern Warfare. I don't know what they did with the animations, man. Why they faffed around with it. It's so wavy and just all over the place, the animations. I'm really not a fan. You'll be walking along in a straight line, and then suddenly, it would just jog up. The gun would just, jog up for no reason. Although I will say the one thing I do like about the animations is when you crouch, you do sort of tilt your gun to the side sometimes, which, a la Titanfall 2, you just rip straight out of that. But not as intense as Titanfall 2 or Apex Legends, but it is, taken from that. But I mean, this, the sliding, which completely doesn't gel with the engine in any way. The sliding is very rigid and tight and very straight line in one direction. It's very tight thing, which does not gel at all with such a wavy, flowy animation cycle. Those two things do not work well together. And obviously, the graphics aren't as good. It's not as sharp as Modern Warfare was. There's not as much content as there was in Modern Warfare. And overall, there's a cheaper feeling to it. And again, I know, COVID and everything. This is a multi-billion-dollar company, and a company that could afford to take a year off from Call of Duty. Even if the stock market tells them not to, I don't care. You need to take a year off if this is what you're going to be producing. However, I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. I really don't. I mean, it's not really affecting me. I have played the shit out of this game. I have played this I've been so addicted to Black Ops Cold War right now, and I think it's because of that. I think it's because it's so simplistic. Of course, I could always do with more maps. You know, that's not the reason, but it's so stripped back. And it also doesn't include any of the silliness and goofiness and like stickiness and tightness of Black Ops 4 and Black Ops 3 and actually 2, and I'm going to get hate for that. You know, a lot of people love Black Ops 2, but it was too goofy and tight and sticky to me. I wasn't a fan. This doesn't include that. You know, the sort of basis, the groundwork of this game is rooted in Modern Warfare. It's Modern Warfare with less things, less complications. It doesn't have double tap sprint, faster sprint, which I do actually think it would benefit from. But it doesn't have a lot of the things that sort of gave Modern Warfare so much depth and so much more sort of more meat on the bones, more stuff there. It's really drawn back, really pulled back. And I think it kind of benefits from it. And the maps are a lot more simple than the Modern Warfare maps, as much as I liked the Modern Warfare maps. You know, sometimes they did feel a little too... I'm a guy who prefers cinematics and prefers visuals, but I will say that maybe sometimes they did sacrifice a cinematic map for the sake of one that flows maybe as well as others. I'm not a fan of the 3-lane map bullshit that Treyarch did for so long, and Infinity Ward did for so long, where maps are completely predictable and all look identical. But I do think that maybe Modern Warfare went a little bit overboard. And I just feel like Cold War is a bit of a balance. It's simple. It has the Modern Warfare gameplay that was always so great and still is great. But it's simple. It's a lot simpler. And I think maybe that accessibility is what's really drawing me into the game. That and the fact that this time we actually finally have Prestige mode back. And also the rank is going to be spread across the 3 games: Black Ops Cold War, Modern Warfare, and Warzone, which I think is a fantastic move, a brilliant move, because as we only have 8 maps, which sucks, if I do get bored of these maps and I still want to level up, I can hop on over to Modern Warfare, and I think that's pretty great. But yeah, speaking of maps, I mean, I like them. I like the roster of maps. Not a huge fan of, which one is it? It's the shopping centre one. It's in Germany, or just a shop or whatever it is. It feels unbelievably generic. It's a couple of parking lots, and then there's a shop in the middle. It's very, very, very straightforward. There's nothing really unique about the map, and I'm really not a fan of that. I don't really like it when that comes up in the rotation. I think my favourite map, and I'm going to get so much hate for this, oh man, because it's the internet's least favourite map. I love Miami. I love it when Miami comes up. It feels so Treyarch to me. So Treyarch. And I watched a video where someone said they think that maybe Sledgehammer Games, you know, made these maps. And with a couple of the maps, yeah, I can kind of see that. But largely, no, I don't agree. I think a lot of the maps here do feel Treyarch. Crossroad feels very Treyarch. Armada is basically Hijacked, but a little bit more complex. What was the other one? There was another one that feels just unbelievably Treyarch as well. Most of them do feel very Treyarch, but Miami, above all else, man, it really does feel so Treyarch. And when I play on that map, sometimes I just get transported to Hotel, the DLC map for Black Ops 1. And you know what? You know, when you put everything together, you know, the fact that these maps do feel very Treyarch, the fact that it's simple and yet not sticky and goofy and silly, the fact that it does, despite the fact that the animations are dumb and worse than Modern Warfare, it has better animations. You know, I've been mocking them, but they're some of the best animations that Call of Duty's had for the past decade, with the exception of Modern Warfare. Every game leading up to Black Ops 1 or leading back to Black Ops 1, it's better than when it comes to animations. It does actually feel, you know, the guns do feel a lot better than they have for a very long time, again with the exception of Modern Warfare. So if you take that into consideration, the great gameplay feeling of Modern Warfare, which was always solid, and the simplicity of it, and the Treyarchness of it, what you have, and I think the reason I'm so addicted to this game, is what you have is Black Ops 1. It's really is a remaster, reboot, reskin of Black Ops 1 in every way. I mean, it's gameplay and simplicity above everything else. It feels like, and this is one of the things that I love so much about Black Ops 1's multiplayer, aside for the art style and everything about it. You know, Black Ops 1 is my favourite Call of Duty of all time, and I've played every single one, all 17. But yeah, one of the things that was so great about the multiplayer was that it prioritized gameplay over everything. Like, the gameplay had to be perfect, and with the exception of Halo 3, I think it really is one of the most perfect feeling FPSs. Halo 3, Doom Eternal, and Black Ops 1, I mean, really, Bad Company 2 as well. They're some of the best feeling FPSs I've ever played, and this draws on that. It really does. You can feel that they did learn from Black Ops 1 a decade later. And the campaign's tremendous. I've been playing the campaign, and I feel the same way about the campaign. I absolutely adore the camp. Oh my god, I love the campaign. It is so good so far. I'd imagine about halfway in, but it's gorgeous. It's absolutely beautiful. But again, it draws on what made Black Ops 1 so great. You've got all this 80s licensed music, and all of these characters who look ripped straight out of 80s, just undeniably 80s people. And I think that's what made the campaigns for Treyarch games so great up until they sort of started to lose their way. From my perspective, started to lose their way. I mean, Black Ops 2 felt kind of generic when it came to the futuristic stuff. Black Ops 3 felt like a completely generic futuristic shooter. And so did Black Ops 4, despite the fact that it didn't have a campaign at all. But if you trace it back and you look back, with World at War, Treyarch said, look, we're going to go through this dark, gritty, real grit and just disgustingly brutal and violent era of the World War. And they went to it, and they just didn't hold back, and they really committed to where they were going to explore with that game. And it was that commitment that made it so great. It was such a gritty, violent experience. And then you fast forward 2 years, you're on Black Ops 1, and they say, we're going to go to Vietnam, and we're going to really well, I don't even know what indulge this game, coat this game, just cover this game in everything that makes it feel like a real Vietnam shooter. And you got the badass characters who are just like, hold nothing back. And everything is, again, quite gritty, but you've got the Rolling Stones playing while you're in a chopper gunner, and you're just shooting people down. And you're stuck in a jungle, and you got to fight your way through. And there's Russian roulette, there's people with limbs flying off, and there's conspiracies, and all of this stuff that you would absolutely associate with that era, because it just goes into it completely. And that's what made it such a great game. That's my favorite thing about Black Ops 1, is that it really committed to that era. And everything that came with it in order to make it a badass game. And I feel exactly the same way about Cold War. Again, for the first time in 10 years, it really feels like a Treyarch experience, where, you've got Adler with those big goofy sunglasses. You've got 80s music playing constantly. You've got a room that has, Reagan just telling you what to do. You've got all these old TVs. They really do a great job of committing to that era. And I mean, it really, really draws on Black Ops 1 as well. And I think that's one of the reasons that I like it so much, because I love Black Ops 1. It started with a rooftop chase, and I was in a chopper gunner while licensed music played, and I was flying through a river surrounded by mountains. And then I crashed, and I was in the jungle, and I had to fight my way through the jungle. These are all. But and I was in a US camp that looked identical to the one that you wake up in Black Ops 1. It really does draw on that game, and it honestly feels like a remaster sometimes with how similar some of these things are. And you could say, yeah, that's uncreative, and they're just rehashing stuff, and maybe you'd be right, but. Man, again, I just don't care. I'm just having such a great time with it. I think it's absolutely fantastic. So overall, I mean, would I recommend it? Let's see. Zombies is great, by the way. That's what I've got to say about Zombies. I actually have played it, and it's actually one of the better zombie modes. Again, yeah, would I recommend it, though? I mean, there isn't much content. If you're looking for a game that has a lot to it, no, I probably couldn't. I don't know. But overall, man, I fucking love this game. And I understand people who say, who don't like it. I totally understand if you don't like the game, you know, I completely get it. I still can't 100% grasp what it is I love so much about this game. But I haven't felt this positive about a Call of Duty game in a while. I mean, yeah, I loved Modern Warfare. Maybe that isn't true, you know, but you take Modern Warfare out of it, and I do feel more positive about this than I have in a very long time. And it's just so much fun. I'm having such a fun time with it, but I think that is because, to me, the best era of Call of Duty was, you know, Modern Warfare 2, Black Ops 1 stuff, and it is really rehashing all of that stuff, which is exactly what I wanted from them for a decade. So if you're like me and you really enjoy that era of Call of Duty, then you probably would have a good time with it. If you're looking for a fun, awesome campaign and you don't care how long it is, yeah, I would recommend it. It's really great. But overall, I mean, honestly, it's kind of a, you know, decision you're going to have to form for yourself. Maybe if you say to yourself, you know, if you want something that has a lot of content to it, then don't bother. But if you are a nostalgic Call of Duty player, then yeah, I'd absolutely recommend it. I think I'm going to be playing a lot of this game. We'll see how the ranking system goes, because that's what ruined Modern Warfare for me. But I guess to sum up, the game, it's not that the game feels great, it's that I feel great playing it. Alright, and that's it. I guess I will see everyone later. Alright, so, oh yeah, I was going to explain where I've been for a while. Well, I've had a very, very exciting, overwhelming few months. So within the space of about 3 or 4 months, I graduated university with the second highest grade you could get. The second highest? And then I got a job, and then I moved out, and then I furnished my flat within the space of about a month. I built so much flat pack that I got blisters. It's been insane, and I've actually moved out, and my fiance and I actually, we have our own place now, and we did all of that within a space of just 2 or 3 months. So finished my degree, got a job, moved out, furnished the house. So it's been crazy, and I've just been waiting for a time where I feel comfortable making videos again, because it does wear you out, but I do feel excited about making videos, and I won't stop. You know, I don't care whether nobody's watching these. I have a great time talking about it and getting it off my chest. So I hope that clears some stuff up in case anyone's wondering, and once again, I will see everyone later.